Hello and welcome to my channel Inspiring Life Changes. My name is Colette and I'm here today to do a reading for all you Aries out there, Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising and Cusp Aries. This is a love reading for Aries, and Venus at this time is just coming out of Virgo. Venus being the planet of love, our relationships, our values on things and our values on relationships and the people in our lives as well. In Virgo, she's very picky, she's very fussy, she's very into the details. She can also stop herself from doing anything because Venus wants perfection in Virgo, and if Venus doesn't get perfection, then she can kind of become paralyzed, like it can stop her from moving forward or doing anything about anything. She can just get caught up in her own ideas and ideals and the seeing the problems rather than the solutions as well. So Venus can be a little bit tricky in Virgo, but she is just about to, let me just move that around a wee bit, that's better. She is just about to, like I said, to leave Virgo on the 28th of October, so we've only got a few more days. She is right near the end of Virgo, and then she's going to be moving into Libra, which is her home, one of her homes. The other one for Venus is Taurus. But she will be at home in Libra, which the 7th house energy is all about our personal one-to-one relationships and finding equality, balance, harmony, and a sense of peace within our relationships as well. So if you have been feeling as though things have been stuck and you've been caught up in your head about things, Aries, just be aware that Venus is going to move forward very soon and leave that energy behind. So if you are interested in the astrology, there will be a free natal link in the description box down below for you to check out your own personal astrology as well. And also this is a reading for yourself and the person that you have an energetic connection with, Aries. That energetic connection can be a personal one-to-one relationship. It could be somebody you're no longer in a relationship with or you want to be in a relationship with. It can also be a family member. It can also be the actual reading itself can be about a situation in your life or an energetic relationship with somebody on a mental level. So you have an intellectual relationship with them. They kind of, you know, stir your passion on an intellectual level as well, so that you kind of like have great communication with this person. Or it can be somebody who you have creativity with, who you have a lot of love for, but it may not be an intimate love relationship. It could be somebody who you work with, and it can come out in many different ways. So but it is about somebody you have an energetic connection with. It doesn't necessarily have to be somebody that you are in a relationship with at this time. But interestingly, the first card that has come out for you, Aries, for this love reading is the Two of Water, or the Two of Cups in reverse. So it is saying that there is somebody special here in your life, or there has been somebody special here in your life. Because it is in reverse, it would imply to me that this relationship is, maybe for some of you it's not over, but it's not in calm waters at this point, at this time. You may not be on the same page, you may not be seeing eye to eye. Some of you, there may be a separation. Some of you may have decided to give each other some space and some time out. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's finished. For some of you, it could well be a relationship that's ended, but there is still a connection with this person. The Two of Cups means that there is a energetic connection that is very strong. It could also be for some of you somebody who you've met, but you're not actually, like, you have strong feelings for them, but the relationship hasn't actually progressed any further at this time as well. But it has also come out on the bottom of the deck with the Five of Water here. So there is a feeling of despair around this relationship as well. Somebody feels as though they're sinking into the depths of their emotions here. They're finding it really difficult. Really difficult to kind of rise above the emotions, to kind of, it's kind of this sinking feeling with the Five of Cups, especially when it's in reverse. Much more so when it's in reverse. There is this feeling of being kind of dragged down into the emotions, not being able to get beyond how you're feeling, even if you are trying to see things on a more sensible kind of level, shall we say, trying to make sense of something. It's like the emotions are just overwhelming. And for some of you, you may not even realise that this is the cause of this. You may just be feeling very strongly emotionally charged, or strongly emotionally despairing about something, but you may not realise or connect it to this situation. That's not going to be for all of you, but for some of you, there could be this disconnect energy that's going on here. So let's see what the rest of this reading is going to say. Just before I start, I will say that there's 2 decks of cards being used. This deck of cards I'm using for yourself, Aries, and this deck of cards is for the person that you have this energetic relationship with. Cross watchers, I will also say that if you are in a relationship with an Aries, or you want to be, or you have been, then just be aware that the cards can be swapped over. If it makes more sense that this resonates with you, these cards resonate with you rather than these ones, then just cross them over, swap it over, because it is however it resonates for you personally. And so this could be your personal story that's being told with these cards rather than these cards. Aries, it may be the same for you. So, starting your reading, we have the Nine of Wands, which is saying to me that there's been a long, hard struggle here. So I do feel as though this is about a relationship that has had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of problems. Things haven't been easy. This guy's literally on his knees here. He's holding himself up with this wand. He's got all the others in the background. But it's a struggle. It's hard work. And there's a sense of kind of deliberating at this time whether or not it's worth it. Is it worth it to keep going on? Does he have the energy to keep going on? It's draining. And it's covered by the Three of Wands as well, which is the challenge here. And so for me, this wand that he's holding here in his hand, in this 9, is also the same wand as that he's holding here in his hand here as well. So this is a card of, the Three of Wands is a card of Today it's coming through as something that you need to let go or release here. To put all of this in the past and to look forward, to look ahead, to look into the future here. Because the 9, of course, is almost the 10 as well. Almost the 10. So he has got this wand here with him, which he has brought from the past. It feels as though this is kind of a step forward. This is the challenge, of course, so he's needing to, it feels to me as though he's needing to let go of that past. Release whatever it is that needs to be released here. Let that boat go. Let that journey end. Because the boat for me always represents life itself. The journey. And his back is turned to us as well. So it does feel as though he is kind of walking away or looking. It feels more like deliberating at this time. Hasn't made the mind up. The mind has not been made up yet. But there is a sense of, I can't carry on like this. I can't keep doing this. I cannot keep putting my time and my energy and my effort into something that just keeps exhausting me, is how it feels, Aries. And what you have in your head and what you are aware of at this time is the Hangman. But the Hangman is in reverse. So there's a sense here of somebody not wanting to, quite possibly yourself, Aries, not wanting to release this, not wanting to let it go. Because the Hangman energy is about a willing sacrifice. It's about letting something go. It's about surrendering to a bigger vision. And that's what I feel that this energy is saying here. Surrender to this bigger vision. There is a bigger vision and you're not at this time quite ready to receive it. Because when the Hangman is upside down, he's looking at things from a different perspective, and that's when he gets the illumination. That's when he sees things in a different light, and he gets his kind of aha moment of realization, and the fact that it was all kind of necessary in some way. But when he's up this way, particularly for me today, it's saying that whoever this is, and I think it does represent yourself here, Aries, doesn't want to put themselves in that space. This is in your head. It's like you are aware of this. You kind of know that you need to put yourself into that place of like removing yourself from the situation, surrendering all of this, energy here. But it feels as though it's really reluctant. There's a real reluctance here, Aries, because you want to hold on to all of this. It's like, I've been through a lot. I've struggled through all of these. It's almost like each one of these represents a kind of victory or a sense of kind of a marker or a, how's it coming through? It's coming through as a kind of a post of like, a representation of each of the, what feels to you like a victory. I know the victory card is the 6 of Wands, but today it's coming through as though each of one of these to you is a victory that you have won, that you've achieved. And that's 8 of them there with the 9 one here. But it's like, you know, has it really been worth it? And that's really what this Hangman energy is saying to you. You know, you need to let go of all of that in order to be able to make way for something new, a new vision. Because at this time, holding on and hanging on to this energy is not productive. It's not helping you. But the Hangman energy can also be a place of like being in the doldrums, in a way, of kind of like an empty space, of like there being nothing there, of this kind of sense of the void in some ways, of like, you know, you don't want to go there because there's a fear. It feels like a fear of losing what it is. I think that's what it is. There's a fear of losing whatever it is that you've managed to accumulate here, which for you is this sense of, again, I keep getting it as a sense of victory, even though it's really tiring and it's really exhausting and it's worn you right down at this time. It could also have something to do with the fact that Mars is in retrograde at this time as well, so your energy could well be feeling extra depleted and that you don't have any more fight left in you at this time. So this is why I feel the Hangman card is here as well. In your head, you're aware that you need to do this, but you don't want to. You don't want to put yourself in that place. And the energy that's moving away for you here, Aries, is this sense of victory, as I was talking about. The 5 of Swords, this sense of conflict and competition. Again, struggle in a way, but more, it's more conflict. It's more this sense of battling, constant battling, of trying to prove yourself worthy, maybe. Again, I get this sense of it being that's what I feel, that all these rods here, all these wands here, has been about you feeling as though this is this war, if you like, this battlefield that you're literally on and have been for quite some time here, has been worth it. And I feel that that's the problem here, is that you want to know that it's been worth it. You want to know that you haven't wasted your time and your energy and your effort by putting yourself through this, even though it is exhausting. But there is a sense of this empty victory. There may be a victory here because he is standing very victorious here in this card. He's standing there, he's gathered up all these swords, which kind of represents all these different arguments that you feel that you have won, Aries, in this situation. And you're feeling, in a way, it feels in a way that you're feeling quite self-righteous about it, that you had the right, that you were in the right, that you've always been in the right, is how it's coming across for me here. But there is, underneath it all, this sense of, you know, was it really worth it? Was it really worth putting myself through all of those battles and all of those arguments and all that conflict and all that distress? Was it just an empty victory, is how it's coming through here. Because underneath this, in your subconscious, you have the Devil. And the Devil card in reverse is talking to me about fear. There's a sense of fear here, being driven by your underlying conditioned fears, and a sense of reacting in a certain way because it's how you're used to it. If you look at the sky here in the background, it's very similar to the energy of this devil as well. It's this fired up energy, which is a very Aries thing, of kind of reacting with your head, being very headstrong before you think something through, just kind of jumping in. But the reason I feel that that's been happening is because there is a sense here of something it feels like a sense of something that's to do with your childhood, to do with your conditioning, to do with how you believe you have to respond or react. It could be that you had a very tumultuous childhood. It could be areas that you feel you had to fight in your childhood, that you may have had lots of problems in your childhood. There may have been a lot of competition in your childhood as well. You could have come from a big family where you were always having to kind of prove yourself constantly, or trying to always be the one who was the strongest. Whether that was mental, I'm getting this kind of mental games as well. Always having to be one better than the other one is what's coming through here. A sense that's probably not going to resonate with all you Aries out there, because a lot of you may well have been only children or just come from smaller families, but there is this sense here for somebody that it was always about having to be one step ahead or one better, or kind of proving your worth is what's coming through. Proving your worth. And that has led to, it feels like, a lot of possibly a lot of other toxic situations in your life as well. A lot of toxic, fearful, coming from a place of fear, coming from a place of having to always be on top or be better than. And it's come out with the 8 of Pentacles as well, which for me today is kind of a sense of you feeling, again, it is that better than. It's kind of having to be on top, having to always I don't know why today, but it's coming through as study. Study? I don't know where that's coming from, but having to kind of like not allow anybody else to beat you is kind of what it's saying here. Not allowing anybody else to be better than you. And it feels like a real kind of driving energy, a real driving force here of having to be on top, of having to prove yourself to be better. Maybe you were forced into studying, Aries. Maybe you were forced into a situation of having to prove yourself as being better than everybody else in order to get the attention or the affection that you needed or sought, or maybe also some of you, that's where you put your attention. But that's what's coming through, is this sense of needing to study. I don't know where that's coming from, because I've never seen it like that before, but that's what is coming through for me today. And just this sense of generally having to be better in order to be accepted is how it's kind of coming through. But it feels as though that is much more of a childhood energy that's kind of carrying through with you today, Aries, and is kind of still affecting your relationships on some level here. Well, we have the energy that is moving in is the Page of Pentacles here. So all the pages are a young energy. For me, they're an energy of learning about themselves as they go. So that's how they go from being a page to a knight to a queen to a king. It's not necessarily about the gender so much as it is about the energy behind it itself. So the page is a sense of finding out about yourself, your environment, your physical needs, what you value, because it is earth energy. It is about the value of things. If you see there, he's looking at this peacock as well. There's a kind of flamboyant energy here as well. There's also a sense of hesitancy, as though you want to kind of give this pentacle to somebody, or you want to do something with this pentacle. You want to do something quite grand, it feels like, Aries. Something quite grand, quite kind of over the top, maybe. And maybe it's even a gesture of apology here. A gesture of... maybe that's also why there's this sense of you having to better yourself, maybe. Because I feel as though this here, this pentacle here, that you're studying or working on, is also this pentacle here. It's like you've kind of improved it. And that's how it feels to you, as though you've kind of improved yourself, is how it's coming through as well. That you're kind of working, as you're working on this here, you're also working on yourself. And now you want to do something with this pentacle. You want to take it into the future. You want to plant it. You want to make more from it. You want it to grow. You want to expand on it. And like I said, you may want to do that with somebody. You may have somebody in mind, but we'll have a look and we'll see what's going on. There's not a lot of, well, there is no cup cards here at all. There's no emotional energy. It's all about the mind games, and the, whoops, cards falling off my table. 2 seconds, I will be back. Yeah, it's all air, fire and earth. One, yeah. Interesting. Okay. Mostly actually it is fire and earth. So we have the page, as I was saying, that we have the Page of Cups here for this other person. So this is the person that you have an energetic connection with here, and they are in a place of healing. They are healing from something. They are learning to look after themselves. Again, Page. So it's a young energy. It's an energy of learning to nurture themselves here, learning, and this could be after a time of all of this conflict and hurt and pain. And this could also be the person that is feeling this sense of despair here, because they are in a place with the Page of Cups here of really looking. If you look here, this is actually in Greek mythology, this is Narcissus, and he is actually looking into this cup. He's seeing his reflection. So it's a really strong energy of reflecting on an emotional level, of healing on a deep level. I tend to liken it to a wounded animal that kind of will take itself away and will look after itself somewhere. It wants to find a place to kind of curl up. And that's what's coming through for me today, a sense of wanting to kind of curl up and be left alone as well. It feels like this sense of wanting to be alone in order to be able to learn from this situation, to grow from this situation, possibly even to understand this situation. But this person is in a place of needing to love themselves. There's a sense here of wanting to find who they are. Find themselves on a deeper level here. And also with the trees in the background as well, I tend to see this as a protection. Like they're wanting to protect their heart or their emotions at this time. They're wanting to... It feels like they need to be soothed. It feels like it needs a soothing energy here. And they may well be feeling really kind of jarred and not in a good place. Okay, so they have as their challenge at this time, their challenge is to find the joy again. Because for me, the dolphins represent fun, joy, happiness, just kind of being in that water. For a dolphin, it's fun. They find the joy in the simplest of things, just kind of riding those waves there. And the 8 here of wands with this boat here is kind of talking about just going with the flow of life, of not trying to make anything happen one way or another. Just go with that flow, see where it takes you. This is this person's challenge at this time, because they're maybe coming out of this sense of being hurt. They may be feeling as though they're ready to come out and love again and open their heart up. Or that's where they're heading for, that's what they're hoping for. This is the challenge. The challenge is to enjoy again, to allow life to I just feel as though this person has kind of really separated themselves or isolated themselves, which I know at this time a lot of people were having to do anyway. But it feels as though this person has kind of shut down on some level, and that they need to get back into the joy of life. But I feel with this 5 of water here as well that they are having trouble. There is a sense of them being caught up in the emotions and the despair. They may also want to communicate on some level here. There may be things that have not been spoken that need to be said. Or there may also have been words that were said that were very hurtful as well with this Five of Swords. That can be hurtful communication, and also with the Devil card down here as well. It could have been a situation of something that was very painful. So why is the Hangman here for this person? Well, you've got the Hangman here. What are they feeling here? What's in their head? What's in the head of the person that Aries has an energetic connection with, please? Oh, 2, okay. So they too have the Eight of Wands, and they also have the the Eight of Pentacles and the Three of Wands as well. So you also have the Three of Wands here as your challenge, Aries, and they have it in their head as well. So they are aware of the fact that there is a risk to be taken here. That's what the Three of Wands in this particular deck is talking about, a risk that somebody is offering this person a new future, a new, a new future, which could also have something to do with this energy here as well. But there is a risk in taking this, and it's like this person is aware of this. They're aware of the fact that if they accept what's being offered, then it's going to completely change everything for them. Because what this person's also got here with the Eight of Pentacles is possibly a new lifestyle, a new beginning, a new... It's not so much new as... Well, it's a new sense of focus is how it feels. A new sense of focus. Focusing their attention elsewhere. Something that is going to... I feel as though this person wants to actually... Like they're not wanting... It does feel as though they're not wanting to be with anybody at all. Like as though they want to work with their own path, their own destiny here, their own... Yeah, they want to be their own... Like they don't want to answer to anybody else is how it's coming across here. Whoever this is, this person wants to have stability in their life where they're not dependent on anybody else. They don't want to have to take that risk again on anybody else. They want to be able to do this for themselves. They don't want to have to rely on anybody else. I just get a sense that they want to create their own future. That's what they're doing. That's what's in their head, and that's what they're working on. They've also got the 8 of Wands here as well. So this is their challenge. And this is what I feel about them separating themselves and isolating themselves. They're very, very focused on their own path, their own destiny here. And maybe that's what the Hangman is there for you, Aries, is that you are also aware of this and you are not wanting to surrender to that, to their decision or their new way of being. Because you feel that if you do, you're going to totally lose out here. And we have the Emperor and we have the 4 of Cups come out for this person as well. The Emperor is in reverse and this is over the top of this. So I do feel as though there has been an energy with this person of them feeling as though they have been very much like out of control, like they haven't been able to control, like they've been controlled even, maybe Aries, that you yourself, your energy was very controlling for them, that you had very set ideas, very kind of concrete ideas about things. You were very set in your ways, you didn't want to accommodate them, and maybe that's what caused all these arguments and all this conflict and all this struggle between the two of you. Because the Emperor in reverse is saying to me that this person feels as though they have had their power taken away from them. But they don't feel as though they've had that power. And they've also got the 4 of Cups here as well. And the 4 of Cups is a sense of emptiness, a sense of not being fulfilled, of not being happy, a discontentment, a kind of underlying sense of discontentment even in the relationship. A realization. These 2 sisters here kind of represent the voices in the head for this person. This person kind of has been caught in this situation of listening to these different 2 sides to the story in a way. But underneath it all, there has been this discontent and this feeling of powerlessness. And that you have been very much in control of their life and their destiny, which I feel is why they are now branching out on their own, is how it feels. This person is branching out. So let's see what's in their subconscious energy. Where's all this coming from? Yeah, it's coming from the King of Swords and the World. So again, there's this sense with this Emperor energy here. Very similar kind of energies. This feeling of being... If you look at this card, it's very barren. There's no growth in it. There's no growth. It was almost like a very harsh environment. This person felt as though they were in a harsh environment, as though their ideas kind of fell on stony ground, as though even maybe their emotions fell on stony ground as well, that you weren't receptive to them, Aries. And it kind of made them close off as well. So it's caused this sense of ending a cycle here. Ending something that has made them want to balance up. Again, if you see here, it's this two, the male and the female, the masculine and the feminine. It's like this person is, I feel very strongly, this person is looking for them. Again, with this Page of Cups, they are looking for their own balance within themselves. Also, their own strength as well. They are looking to be both sides of the relationship to themselves. They want to be, at this time, doesn't mean that it's always going to be this way, but at this time, this person very much wants to be all things to themselves, for themselves. Totally independent is how it's coming across for me today. Totally independent. But they are, it does feel, because this is the challenge, is to kind of branch out on their own, to kind of set sail, shall we say, to kind of trust where the universe is going to take them, trust where that journey is going to take them, to ride those waves and see where they end up. So we have the Knight of Wands moving into the future and the Five of Cups. So the Knight of Wands can be about grass being greener on the other side of the fence. This person may be wanting adventure, maybe wanting experiences of life, but it is in reverse. So it does kind of also say to me that they may, even though they feel that that's what they want, they may kind of be disappointed by it. It may not give them what it is that they're actually searching for and looking for, even though they may feel as though it's necessity or necessary at this time to experience things as much as they can, because that for me is what the Knight of Wands is about. He learns by experience, and he wants to experience everything. Everything. His creativity, he's driving, he's passionate, so it can also come across as a player as well, the Knight of Wands, because he can be somebody who, and there is a danger here that this person could end up in this kind of situation of kind of wanting to experience everything. There's a sense of freedom, but it can be a freedom that can actually become very shallow, shall we say? Shallow, unfulfilling. When it's in reverse, it's a sense of not really having direction, not really knowing where you're going or what you want to do here, because it's kind of overdoing something. There can be a sense of overdoing it. too much experience, too much stimulation. And it's also come out with the 5 of Cups here as well. So there is a sense that this person may well feel as though they're going to end up in these kind of situations of being run out on. With the 5 of Cups again, it's the same card here, this kind of despairing energy. Same card. 5 of Water, 5 of Cups. Or it could also be you trying to offer something to this person, Aries, and them just running out. Them just wanting to leave the scene. Not wanting to talk about things. It feels to me as though this card is kind of a very, today, an energy of kind of to hell with everything, just kind of devil may care kind of energy that this person is kind of moving into. I just want to have fun. And it is kind of coming across as a bit of a warning as well. There is a kind of warning sense here as well, that this person could overdo things. Almost like a sense of freedom that they've never had before. So it kind of goes to their head and makes them overly carefree. There's a sense of, is what it's coming through for me today as, this carefree energy that is going to maybe backfire. Because they're not going to, it feels as though when it comes to their relationships, they are going to be the one that's going to be doing the running out the door. And maybe that's because of what's happened to them previously here. It does feel as though this person doesn't want to be tied down. So let's see what the Ask and It Is Given cards would like to say here, Aries. Ask and It Is Given by Abraham Hicks energy. If you don't know who Abraham Hicks is, there is plenty of information about Abraham Hicks online on YouTube itself. Okay, so it's the card that we've got says, and this is quite interesting, it is not about controlling my thoughts, it is about guiding them. And the actual energy itself is saying, or the card itself, so we are not encouraging you to make an effort to control your thoughts, but instead to more or less guide your thoughts. Reaching for the way you would like to feel is an easier way to hold your thoughts in vibrational alignment with that which you believe is good. So this could be a message for you here, Aries, that it's not about controlling, it's about guiding, it's about kind of feeling this energy coming through here as well, that it's about surrendering, it's about letting go, it's about not trying to force something just because you want it to be that way. And it's not about the thought process, it's the feeling that is going to make the difference here for yourself. Because you can't control another person. You can't control their life. You can't control their thinking. You can't control their destiny in many ways, because it is theirs. Yours is yours, and that's the only thing that you can control here, Aries, is your own thoughts and your own destiny. So if you're trying to control somebody else's, it is going to backfire. It isn't going to work. It's just going to cause more of this energy. This kind of sense of victory, but it is an empty victory, because at the end of the day, you're on your own. There's nobody else on that battlefield anymore. It's just you standing there. So there is a sense here of a sense of, okay, interesting. So we've got cut the cords. Yeah, there's a sense of having to work with your own energy here, Aries, rather than trying to make something go the way that you want it to. So let's see what it says for cut the cords. It says, your message in spirituality, cords are the energetic bonds that connect us to a situation, person, or place. There are different types of cords, but in the context, they are connections to situations or people that can have a negative and draining effect upon us, which is kind of this energy here that I was talking about earlier. Draining, struggling. We can also create a negative cord when we have an expectation of the outcome of a situation, especially when it is outside our control. So this is an important time for you to release any attachments to people, places, situations, outcomes, or anything else that could be limiting your experience of joy. Angels are wrapping you in a light of love so that you can lovingly detach from situations that could be draining, dramatic, or damaging your health or purpose. If you are finding yourself hanging on, which I think you are with this hangman in reverse energy, in a situation you know is unhealthy or negative, angel wisdom is encouraging you to call upon the help you need to release yourself from it. Know that angels are guiding you to surrender the need to direct and control at this time, so you can welcome in the spiritual support that is available to you. When you ask your angels to support you in cutting the cords, they will help to dissolve the connections that are hooking you into a negative situation. You have to do your part too, by removing yourself from harmful and draining situations. If you have any questions regarding a situation, relationship, or outcome at this time, know that you are being guided to find a new way forward, as it will be more rewarding and replenishing for you. Ultimately, cutting the cords is an act of self-care and self-love. So that could actually relate to both of your selves here, Aries. This could relate to you especially. I feel very strongly that that relates to your energy with the card that we have here as well. I'll just hold that up so you can see the words on it. It's a bit blurry. But also the Hangman energy, and as I was saying about the reluctance to kind of surrender and let that go. When you do surrender and let that go, something else can move in because you've given that space, you've emptied that space, you've made space in order for something else better to move into your life and change the energy that you are stuck in at this time. So I'm going to leave your reading there, Aries, and say I really do hope that it has been of some help to you. If it has helped you in any way, or if you have enjoyed this reading, please could you thumbs it up for me. The more likes it gets, the more it gets put out into the bigger YouTube world, the more the algorithms get to pick it up, the more it can take it onto other platforms, other channels can also see it, recommend it. And that helps to grow my channel, which is what I'm really trying to do at this time. I have had to take quite a chunk of time off. I haven't been able to do any readings at all. Missed my new moon reading, which I did yesterday because I was feeling as though I was being pushed into doing the astrology part of it. I normally would do the tarot as well, but I decided not to do the cards, just to do the astrology reading. So that is also up online if anybody is interested in looking that up. There is a playlist as well if anybody wants to have a look at any of my other readings. But unfortunately, as I was saying, I had to take a break because my cat got run over, and I've had to spend time looking after her and making sure that she's been okay. And it just didn't feel right to be doing readings at that time. My head would have been elsewhere, so I just gave myself a break. So please also could you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Please hit that button that is on my videos so that you can go and subscribe. And thank you very much to those of you who have subscribed. I really do appreciate it. It is great to have you here. It is also great to get comments from you as well, and to know that my videos are being appreciated as well. And thank you to those of you who have subscribed recently. I really do appreciate you being here. Also, I believe there's a little bell that opens up if you want to get notifications for my videos as and when I put them out. I do all of the new moon and full moon videos. Usually I do both astrology reading and a separate tarot reading. Like I said, couldn't do the tarot reading because it was too long past. I do all the zodiac signs as well. And I will be getting back into my kind of hopefully flow of getting these videos out there now as well. So thank you very much for watching and for listening to me, and please, Aries, take really good care of yourselves and take really good care of anybody else who you can at this time, and hopefully I will see you again soon.